about religion is ignorance. If you haven't got a clue about what the Bible says and you haven't got time to really sink your teeth into it, you've got to trust the people that are teaching you it. But I don't think there really is an individual excuse anymore with all the technology and all the available resources on the internet to do your step-by-step studies if you want to. Are going to protect you from the silly ideals that you can get caught up in. Just let me show you this view for a minute. The World Cup soccer is going to be on that screen tonight. We're going to sit out here and watch it. So the part that people get preyed on with Christianity and everything is their ignorance, and that's to be understood. But how can you protect people from that? How can people be protected from wanting to know God and wanting to read the Bible and understand it, but just have the time to be able to do that? How? Well, you can audibly listen. I audibly listened to the Bible for years. In fact, I got to the stage where I had the New Testament in one ear and the Old Testament in another on two separate iPods. I was so interested in learning the truth of it. But what I want to say to you today is you can go as deep into it as you like. You can stay out of it as far as you like. But there's dangers that come. The further you go in, there's more dangers that can come against you. Again, if you don't know Romans 7 and the impact of trying to follow the law, you can unravel your whole family and not even realise you're doing it. So I'm going to say this again. In the New Testament it says, "Be with you," did it? But when Adam ate, why were you born into sin? If you had a voluntary choice of whether you wanted to be born into sin or not, I don't think you would have chose to be born into sin. So it wasn't your choice. So why are these preachers saying we're responsible for our sin? We didn't even have a choice to be born into it. You've got to get your head around that. It wasn't your choice, so it's not your responsibility to try and get yourself out of it, because it's not your fault. So, as equal as you were involuntarily put into sin via Adam's Eve, which was delivered because he didn't want to leave Eve in sin alone, just like Jesus didn't want to leave us in sin when he died on the cross, as equally as we were partakers of Adam's sin, more so are we partakers of what Jesus did on the cross. But if you try and, that's taken nearly 25 years of great expense to get to the bottom of where it really is. Because when Jesus died on the cross, equally, it had nothing to do with us, but it fixed the problem for all of us. How can everybody be born into sin and it not be their fault, and they have to find some kind of way of getting out of it by knowing Jesus? If it was put in a court of law, and God's got the best court of law that there is, as far as I understand, then it had to be adjudicated the same way. If what Adam did placed us involuntarily into sin, then what Jesus did involuntarily placed us into righteousness. And then after that, it's a matter of how far we want to go to investigate exactly what that meant and how he lived and what we have and what we don't have. People say, well, you're saying that you don't even have to believe in it then to be saved. Well, if Jesus is the author and finisher of our faith, Hebrews chapter 13, and he went to the cross for the joy that was before him, then if he's the author of my faith and the finisher of it, then guess what? What's that got to do with me? It was a problem that God fixed for himself within himself, because it was never our fault. It was never our problem. So until you can understand that, you're going to battle with this. Hello, Jesse Lopez. Good on you, mate. So get out and live. Get out and live. Religion was never a problem that we were supposed to be tied up in. If you want to follow God and worship him and all that, that's fine. But as soon as you fall into over-devotion, you're going to get in serious trouble, and you may take years to find your way out, and you may unravel everything that you've worked hard for and loved. So, good on you, Jesse. This is Pro Theologist. I hope that encourages you. What Jesus did was far beyond what Adam did, and placed us in a far better position. We don't need to worry about our issues with God anymore. Bye for now.